Oh, I was just about to say how so excited I am with this bike. I get off and this is what it's doing. So a few weeks ago, I put out a video of me riding the CF Moto Ibex 450, and towards the end of our trip, I ended up punching a hole in the oil pan of this bike behind me. Now, at the time, it kind of sucked, but at the same time, we were able to grab some JB weld and patch it, keep riding for a full day after that with no issues whatsoever. And actually, I've been riding the bike for a few months since then, and it's actually been working out just fine. That all being said, I do want to put a proper fix on it, so I was able to get an oil pan from CF Moto, and I also have the oil change kit here that we're gonna use. Guys, if you're new here, my name is Kyle, and this is Backcountry ADV Moto. I do have another channel that I recently started called Backcountry Garage, where something like this would probably fit a little bit better. But let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna show you the process on how to switch out the oil pan on this bike. And it's actually really easy. You don't even have to split the case. You don't have to even remove the exhaust on this bike to get to it. So we'll go ahead and jump right into it. So I mentioned this in the actual riding video, but I'll just go ahead and explain how this even happened. As you can see here, I've got a Black Dog skid plate on, and Black Dog makes premium skid plates. And I just want to clarify right out of the gate that it was not the skid plate's fault here. This thing is, I mean, it's literally bulletproof. So let me just walk you through exactly what happened. So this here is like 1/2-inch tubing, the drop tubes on both sides. And this is what the plate mounts to. It mounts to the original skid plate mounting points. The other side of this bolt right here is where the hole got punched in. So what happened was I did not, when I had this plate off and I reinstalled it, I did not Loctite or get this tight enough here apparently. And as we were riding, this bolt had fallen out. So we decided to go ahead and put another bolt in on the ride, stopped at a hardware store. What I didn't take into account was that bolt was slightly longer. And when I say slightly, I mean, we're talking a couple of threads, I think. In my mind, and what I think happened is I took, you can see here, there's a pretty good ding. I took an impact kind of on the side, and it ended up shifting this whole skid plate as a whole over, because these are so thin that there just isn't a lot of rigidity. It adds a ton of rigidity compared to what the stock skid plate is, but it just was enough to shift over. And then I think that would have happened to just about any other skid plate out there with taking this impact the way that it did. I'll zoom in and I'll show you that. So there is the gouge there, and then there is another one right there just below that bolt hole that could have also been the culprit. And I mean, you can see that it's a pretty deep gouge in this, I believe 4mm thick aluminum. So it definitely took a shot. So anyway, let's go ahead and pull this skid plate off. All right, so I do have the bike up on a lift here. This makes the process a whole lot easier. That way I can just sit here on this stool and have everything that I need right there at kind of working level, instead of having to lay on the ground and tip the bike over and all that kind of thing. But as I mentioned, I do have a CF Moto oil pan here. That is the part number. Of course, any dealer will know what number to look for, but if you wanted to buy this online, that is the part number right there. I also have the CF Moto crafted oil change kit. This comes with 3 quarts of oil, an oil filter, and a crush washer. Just makes it easy to buy the kit. Also, this is, as I've mentioned in several other videos, this is not my bike, this is a loaner bike. And if I want to maintain my relationship with these guys and maintain the warranty on this bike, I want to use their oil and stuff like that. So I have my oil pan, I've got my oil change kit, I've got my coffee. We're ready to dive into this. So I've got 1, 2, 3 bolts on this side. I've got 2 here in the front, and I've got the same on the other side. And we're gonna go ahead and remove those. On this particular skid plate, they're all Torx bits, so we'll go ahead and remove those now. All right, so I'm using my M12 Milwaukee tools. I freaking love these. They work really well for doing small projects like this. I use this impact a lot, as well as this ratchet. This is actually my second one. The first one I used for 7 years and probably did 30 engines or more with that. Anyway, here we go. So remove the bottom one here. This is a 45. The side ones here. All right, jump around to the other side. All right, so you can see right in there my JB weld fixed. And again, I showed this process of fixing that in the actual video as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this down tube here just to kind of give me some extra space. I don't think I need to remove the one on the other side, but I'll go ahead and do that now as well. As you guys can see, this is a really heavy duty skid plate. Like I mentioned, it's the skid plate itself did not fail. It was just one, the way it was attached. I mean, there could have been another way to attach it, but let me, all right, yeah, look how much movement there is right there. You guys seeing that? So you can imagine with a 400+ pound bike hitting a rock nice and solid, with this flexing as much as it does. Granted, it's tied into the other one, but if the other one moves that much, then it's gonna be a little bit more minimized, but not a ton. So, all right, so I've got the down tube disconnected. You basically remove that bolt there, and then if you use a shorty Allen wrench, you can get those two out. And I just move it up out of the way. It is being held on still by this rubber bushing that goes in through the radiator. And to get to that, you have to take plastics and stuff off. So I just prop it up on the shifter out of the way, and that will open up the ability to get all these 8mm bolts out. So next, we'll go ahead and do that. There's a few back here that are gonna be a little bit harder to get to, but not too bad with an extension. So I did get this bike warmed up before I put it up on the stand. It has been a half hour or so, but it's still plenty warm. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the oil plug, because probably shouldn't drop this without removing the oil plug and draining the oil out first. I was getting a little ahead of myself. So we'll go ahead and pull this, drain the oil, and then I'll focus on removing the pan. So this is 17mm. I'll just pop that off. Interested to see if there's any metal shavings in here. This does have a magnetic oil plug, and you can see that there's a little bit of gunk in there, but no big shavings or anything like that. Which, with it being a brand new bike, you're always gonna have a little bit of shavings, especially with like all of your pressure plates and everything wearing in the clutch, rings, all that good stuff. So it's totally not uncommon to find some stuff stuck to that, but if you have big chunks, that's when you need to worry. This, we're fine. That's just about done dripping, but yeah, I just want to show you this fix again. You have a little bit better view of it now. It would probably hold forever, to be completely honest, but again, not my bike, so we're gonna go ahead and swap the whole thing out. So before I pulled the old pan off, I wanted to double check and just make sure that they did in fact send me the correct one, and they did. But you can see here, this is the sump. The oil sump is on, the left side of the bike. Exhaust runs right through here, and you've got 13 perimeter holes, so there's gonna be 13 bolts to remove to get this off. Again, fairly straightforward. One thing that they don't do is they don't use a gasket, like a paper gasket on this. What they do is like a liquid gasket, and this is very common, especially a lot of in modern bikes as well as the Japanese bikes. Honda does this exact same thing with their oil sump and their side covers and everything. That being said, I actually have some, where's it at? Of course, we're on the wrong drawer. There we go. Some 3-bond right here. This is what is recommended for, all Japanese bikes for the most part. And we're going to go ahead and use that. So we'll just put a thin layer all the way around the perimeter here, trying not to cover up any of these two orifices here, or these two holes. These are the pin holes for making sure it's all lined up. And obviously definitely don't get anything in the way of that, but there's no reason to put any here. But we're just gonna get it around the perimeter and let that start setting up a little bit before we pull the other one off and get the new one on. So we'll go ahead and start doing that now. All right, so as that's setting up, we'll go ahead and pull the old pan. Okay, so I got all the bolts out, and now we're just going to remove the pan. Again, it uses almost like a silicone sealant on it, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult just to pull it off, but we'll go ahead and do that. What you don't wanna do is you don't wanna pry on it or anything like that and end up breaking something as far as like the engine case goes. So you gotta be very careful when you do that, but who knows, maybe I'll get lucky and it'll just come right off. So I forgot to hit record, but I just took my dead blow here, and then on this point right here, just took a hammer to it, and there we go. See the gap now? Just enough to break that free. Check out the other side. Start kind of pulling it down. Give it a little tap over here. We have those dowels that stick down in there, so I think that's kind of what they're hanging on. Another thing you can do is take a block of wood like this, give it a little tap. There we go. Kind of has that distinct sound when it breaks free. There we are. So we'll go ahead and gently remove. All right, so inside the oil pan here, we've got our oil pickup, which goes down inside there. So this has to be removed in order to get that out. And it should just pop right down. And maybe I can do it with one hand. Let's see. Yep. The rest of the oil will then kind of drip down out of the lower part of the crankcase. And our pan is free. Here's that sump pickup right here. It's got a gasket there, then it literally just pops into the bottom of the motor. But you have to remove this if you want to get the pan out, unless you remove the exhaust, and I don't think anybody really wants to do that. That's kind of a pain. Looking down inside the sump, there's a screen inside there, and there's a few what looks like maybe clutch pieces, things like that, but nothing major to worry about. So that is also a good thing. We'll move this out of the way and we'll put the new pan on. I'm gonna take a rag and just wipe off the bottom here and get all these little pieces of silicone off, and then we'll go ahead and install the new pan. All right, got that all cleaned up. I'm gonna put this sump pickup tube right back in. It's hard to see at first, but there is a little indent next to the hole. That's gonna go into that hole right there. A little bit hard to do and see when you have the pan kind of in the way, but I don't think that there's any other way. Let's see. Oh yeah, it'll go. Look at that. All right, now we find our little guide. Get those in there. All right, we're in. All right, so we're gonna take our 13 bolts and put them all back in and get them all torqued down. The torque spec on these is 10 Newton meters, so not very much. You gotta be very careful with them when you're tightening them up. If you don't have a torque wrench, definitely go in a crisscross pattern across the oil pan itself so you're getting it evenly, but hopefully you have a torque wrench, because not that it's that big a deal, I guess, but you definitely would like to get them to spec. That way you don't have any leaks. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Okay, so oil pan is on, everything is torqued down. Now all I have to do is remove the original oil plug here, because again, this doesn't come with it. Just the pan is the part number that we get. So I just want to show you inside here. Like, this is my patch, right? This little turd that's sticking through there, or it looks like maybe something else. Anyway, that is what really kept oil from leaking out, and that thing is not going anywhere. This fix probably would have lasted the life of the bike, but again, not my bike, so we decided to go ahead and fix it the correct way. But yeah, just a perfect hole got punched in that. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our oil change kit here, and we're gonna get our bits and pieces out of it. In this kit, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you get an oil filter. There is a crush washer in there as well. And then you get 3 quarts of the CF Moto 1040. It's a synthetic blend oil, and that's what's recommended for the oil change. Also, well, it takes 2.5, so they give you 3. Also, stickers, sweet stickers, but kind of nice just to be able to buy it all in one kit instead of having to, you know, put it all together. But so I'm going to take our oil plug and we're going to take our new crush washer and install that into the new pan. So as far as the torque goes for this bolt, there are some mixed reviews on what, and even the books that CF Moto has put out say 25, 30, 35. I'm gonna go with 30 Newton meters. Really nice and snug is really all that you need to do, and maybe we'll just give it one ugga-dugga and call it good. It's not like with that crush washer that's gonna pop out, but yeah, we'll go ahead and get this tightened up, and then we're gonna go ahead and remove the oil filter. Whew. These things are always supposed to be hand tight. Oh, all right, well, good old pair of pliers. Yeah, definitely not hand tight, and almost like somebody didn't put any oil on the ring on the gasket. So we'll go ahead and remove that. A little oil is gonna come out. Let that drain for a second. Whew, almost made a huge mess. Glad I caught that and didn't land inside my drain bin. So we're gonna take our new oil filter and put a little bit of oil on the ring. And like I said, this is supposed to be hand tight. So there we go. Get my oil plug tight. I'll just get it snug right now and I'll go back and check it a little later before I get everything all buttoned up. There we go. Now we're gonna add the oil. Go ahead on the other side of the motor. I'm gonna remove the oil fill cap and just add 2.5 quarts of oil and we're all done. There is a sight glass on the side to check it once you get it off the stand and everything. So we'll definitely make sure that everything is where it needs to be once we get everything all buttoned up, but that pretty much wraps it up once we get the oil in. All right, so oil pan is all buttoned up. It's full of oil. I have got my oil filter on. I've got my oil plug torqued, and I even have my down tube on. I'm getting ready to install the skid plate. And I think the last thing that I want to do here, and you know, this might be a big mistake, we will see, but I have a piece of like 3/4 inch stall mat right here. And what I'm going to do is take this piece of hard, or not hard, it's actually pretty pliable rubber. But I'm gonna take this chunk of rubber right here and I am going to just slide it down between the oil pan and the frame. And hopefully that will help mitigate any issues that I have with this frame flexing. Again, this is pretty pliable rubber, so I don't think it's gonna hopefully not punch a nice square hole in the pan there next time I have an issue, but we'll see. This may work out. This may be a bad idea, but I will keep you posted. But I'm gonna go ahead and install the skid plate now and we'll wrap this video up. Here's another look at that rubber piece down in there. Again, might be overkill or for nothing, but anyway, just wanted to show you guys that it does work in there. All right, guys, that pretty much wraps up this video. You can see behind me, I've got the skid plate on and this bike is ready to rip on another day. I know that there's a lot of instances of this happening to some guys going around. Like I know Brett Tax knocked a hole in his, I knocked a hole in mine a few months ago and I've just been rolling with it. So if you own this bike, just don't stress about it. It's not something that happens very often, honestly. I think there's a few cases where it would happen on certain terrain, or if you don't have a proper skid plate, or in like my case, you just hit the crap out of something super hard and everything flexed enough to where it just freakishly knocked a hole in it. So as you can see in the video, it's a really easy process, so don't stress about it. If you haven't yet, guys, check out the Backcountry Garage channel down in the bottom corner right here. On that channel, we'll be doing everything from working on bikes to projects around the house. It's a fun channel for me. It's kind of the behind the scenes channel of what goes on the Backcountry ADV Moto channel. So if you haven't yet, check out that channel and hit subscribe if you don't mind. Also, guys, if you got something out of this video, either give me a like or subscribe or both. Share it with your friends. And guys, if you haven't yet, check out this video right here. I think you're gonna enjoy it. Thanks, guys.